I'll have to. Put it right here.
Get Bob, get the podium. No, that helped a little bit, yeah. I think that's pretty good right there.
I can put it like at the end here.
You had it pretty good. Over there, you don't have to go that far.
Need to go.
That works. That's perfect. I see you. I see all of us. I see the screen.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna be on the screen, but.
You need to put a little piece of tape on the floor. This is where it goes.
Can I help you with something?
I was trying to read that, I can't read.
Oh, you can, there's one right up here, you can look up here.
I couldn't see it from back there. It's not your fault. It's my eyes.
Right here, right, I usually have it on a table, but I don't set the table up just for that.
I didn't know that.
Look at it right there. Were you on the agenda? What were you
Wayne,
here for?
I guess
Oh, just.
you guys call it an alleyway, but it's a street because you got people living on there and they need blacktop.
Oh, okay,
Where is this at?
so nobody has to be on the agenda, so
What's the name of that?
Franklin Lane,
Franklin Lane.
so they are on the agenda, they didn't ask to be on the agenda, so they'll just have to talk at the end of citizens' concerns. So they put those new condos in.
Oh,
We're all coming over because we just now got a homeowner association. And so we're all going to be in on it.
Okay.
But somebody said that they came here 6 years ago, and you guys say it was an alleyway or the old room in the budget for it.
Well, 6 years ago, it wasn't that.
It
That's all.
still is an alleyway,
Yeah, well, that's a street.
it's not a street yet,
It's gotta be, how do you make it a street?
it's in the process of being made a street. It has to go through NDOT, and so it's with the MPO of Evansville, and that's all being worked on. I don't know, but they've had it for quite a while.
Well, I think we voted for it to be a street about a year ago.
Yeah, we did.
Really?
Yeah.
So it
It's a
takes a year?
lane,
Oh, it takes at least that long.
Franklin Lane, yeah. But for it to be a street, we can't pave it until it becomes a street and it gets on our
It's,
inventory, and it's all in the process.
What street you talking about?
Franklin Lane, where the grocery store used to be, Yes.
4 weeks.
it's an alley, but it's becoming,
That's right.
slowly becoming a street. It's not in our possession anymore.
Well, I hope you're doing better.
Well,
President of the,
it's still in build up like the doctor wants.
so we were just told to show up here.
Huh?
Are you diabetic?
Yeah, you gotta be put on the agenda, so.
So
When
what
you
do
get
we?
5 minutes to talk, and you can talk at the end of the message.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Here it is.
What are you guys here
The end
for?
of May.
Just different complaints.
Okay. It'd have to be during citizens' concerns, so whenever they ask if anybody else has any more citizens'
Okay.
concerns, that's when you'll stand up.
So,
You can get you a chair.
Until they can.
okay. We're gonna have one tonight.
Where can we sit?
There's other people here that's not on the agenda. They didn't call people on the agenda, so.
Thank you.
I saw you call me and I had a voicemail with no information.
I didn't. I tried to hang out.
It was like 2 minutes
Oh
long.
my God.
After about 20 seconds, I was like, This has been the same day.
Okay, so the stickies. Sorry, can I have that box? Set that down and didn't bother to
Yeah, you bet.
You did good on her. You did better?
grab my batteries.
I'm doing better. I'm getting closer to my fighting weight. So, yeah, I feel kind of mean a little bit.
Good, good. I'm not there too. I'm about there too. Oh, you see?
I'm doing okay.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay. I am. It's been crazy. Lexi's home last weekend, or last week, and she left Saturday and went to New Jersey. And now Evan is in Florida. And he just sent me a picture. He went to Tampa. He was on vacation. But he's going to Miami to find a place to work because he's Pennsylvania. He just sent these pictures literally going in. He's on a train. He's taking a train from Tampa to Miami.
I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't either, but he's like, nah, flight's too expensive. I'm just taking a train. He said it was like $40 or something crazy.
Yeah, but how
I
many
didn't know
hours?
that.
18 hours?
Four.
4 hours? That sounds quick.
Yeah, that's what he said.
From Tampa to Miami.
Yes.
That's a long way.
Mm,
That's about,
Yeah.
from here to Tampa, it's the same as Tampa to Miami. I
He's
would
taking the train. He says 4 hours.
We're live, by the way. I mean, I don't know. But
Oh, you have to read this.
It's recording.
it's worth
It's on your agenda, but you have to make that.
Does this have to say this all the time?
Yep.
Yeah. Increase it, but happens. Are we recording right now? We started.
Well, I don't know. Probably right now.
Jackie is at home testing for us. She says that she's.
We just started and exactly.
I needed that.
I did.
Well, we got it set to do that, but for testing purposes. To try to get it in line. I would like to mark these.
Yeah, you told me.
Trying to get it going.
Count how many squares back.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we- but,
They don't always put these chairs, tables.
Everybody from the new gym thought he was out blacktop.
Hey,
They
goodness.
are the Oscars. Who the hell? You need to tell me we spent $11 million in that doctor.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't believe it. Well, if they're gonna go back to do something about the road there, we need to do something about the water. They need to fund that as well.
You guys don't have your markers?
The two
I do.
things coming.
Yeah,
We got a storm sewer issue with the water.
we do.
I don't know if there's a, I don't know if
They
that was
are,
last
and
time.
they went in before.
I had it on there from last month and I didn't know if he was coming, it's nothing else.
But it still has to be taken care of, doesn't matter, it's still gonna be a problem. I talked to the architect about it, he said, we'll figure something out.
If they're not happy.
The architect is Kel Calvert, and he has a son, Ben Sean, in Brady's class. And so
I've been
he's
in
come
so
up
many
with
classes,
this
the
football
last 2
architect.
weeks. So
And I
Going together.
tour of it the other day. And I told him we don't have, where this water gonna
there's a
go.
lot of people in here that are not represented.
Showed him that we don't have anything except it's a block away.
Well, we just have to drill it. Yeah, you put it in there.
So we'll figure something out.
So that would be the way to.
Well, I was just forwarding stuff that I was
Since they're
doing
gonna have to
today.
get more money.
I'm just being honest.
Wasn't a whole lot.
Another sewer.
And I brought hard copies too.
Stormwater drain. That's a lot closer.
Just dig one over down all.
I don't have
To the other.
One is the one, the other one, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I can't believe that.
Well,
It's
it's
funny.
really high volume.
The whole place wasn't.
Someone-
How would you do that?
6,
I
5,
think the
58.
cost is.
No, sounds good.
That don't include the sewer problem.
No, but I'm just saying, if you were to lock it in.
How long, $11 million thing?
Did you go to YMCA yet?
No, I watched the BIRCH.
It's very nice.
I want to know.
I was up there on Thursday. Yeah, it was very nice. Yeah, it was nice. There's a couple of judges in it.
So we're trying to get schools.
It's, the sign had a OCU.
There's got to be some.
Yeah, so they have some. That's cool.
Make sure you guys open your microphones for, meeting streaming purposes.
Okay, that was cool. It's super nice.
She got nothing for you.
Okay, the time is now 6 o'clock. It doesn't seem like it's working. Okay, I'm just gonna talk about, meeting, this meeting's called to order. Roll call, Sandy Birch, present, Bob Reinhardt,
Here.
Scott DeLong,
Here.
Stacy ELPERS, here, Sandra Hicks, here. Yay. Let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this meeting is being recorded. Anyone who speaks in the meeting is giving permission to be recorded and posted to our YouTube channel and the town's website. Virtual participation is not monitored, so you can virtually watch the meeting, but if you need or want to speak, you must be in person. So first thing on the agenda is the minutes from our April 23rd public meeting. Do we have any additions or corrections to those?
No corrections.
I'll make a motion, we accept.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the claims in May docket from April the 19th through May the 23rd, the amount of $902,468.13. Are there any questions about these?
No question.
I make a motion to approve.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Fund report balances, April 2025 fund report in the amount of $5,657,130.62. Do you have any questions about those?
No question. I'll make a, let's not approve the, fund balance.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, sewer adjustments. We have a sewer adjustment request form in the amount of negative $274.76. We have all paperwork. Do we have any discussion about this?
No discussion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, they sign this one, right, Stacy? No, sign.
Next.
And then the next one is the May 2025 adjustment report in the amount of negative $142.04. Do we have any questions about that?
No question.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, sewer project update, SLB pay application number 7, the amount of $135,635.93. Do we have any discussion or concerns with this, Randy? I make a motion, we approve and pay it.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The font is so small.
Yeah. Oh, I can get it on one
This is the
page.
28.
Yeah.
All right, and then HIRSCH easement is on the agenda. Do we have it?
We're still working with him on that. I have 2 trials, so we're still working with him to get that.
So table that to next month. Okay, citizens' concerns. We have some on the agenda, and it looks like we may have some people here that aren't on the agenda, so we're just gonna go down the list. Jack CLORE, is he present? Okay, Tyler Burton. Nope. Anybody here from Casey's General Store? Okay, you wanna come up and talk to us?
Just for the record, we need the citizens' concerns, we need to try to keep folks to 5 minutes as close as we can.
Okay.
I'll start with, my name is Tabitha Briones. I work for Fishbeck, and I am a consultant that is hired by Casey's. And I brought an entire, it's all preliminary, of course, but I did bring a layout for you to look at. I made it today because I thought that our site plan wasn't very clear. And this was a little bit easier, so that way you can see.
It's better than the library.
Oh, good. That way you can
Just a
see
little
the
bit.
neighbors, yeah. And even this one's not very readable, so I apologize. My surveyor made it because, we're just kind of in the preliminary. But I did want to kind of show that to you. I have some extra copies if you need them. I don't need them. I guess the best introduction is the visual. I'd be happy if somebody out there needed to look. I think that would probably be.
So just for the audience, the primary objective here is to upgrade Casey's to be able to provide diesel fuel for semis.
Yeah, and there'll be 2 bays in the back, which it's called 2 bays, but there's 3. And so it can hold 3 vehicles. So each one is for 1 vehicle.
And the plan is to install a circular drive and a canopy on the north end of the Casey's property that butts up and is adjacent to the Little York neighborhood.
Yes, and this would also include increasing the width of the drive, not changing the location, so that we would have 3 lanes so that trucks, nobody's sitting there waiting, so that we could have essentially enough room for a truck to wait and stack up on the truck side, and vehicles could still come in and out.
That was one of my concerns. You probably saw from the email, and I can see here on the drawing where
Yeah,
the proposed
Big entrance.
entrance is widened to the
Yes.
east.
and I did also look, I do a lot of the NDOT calculations for site distance and stuff like that. And it's all within that, but we would definitely submit to NDOT and make sure, this is just our first step to make sure that our site plan includes everything before we submit to them.
Okay. Is there going to be an additional, an increase in water and sewer demand in any way? I wouldn't think that there
No.
would be, but
No, we are not adding any amenities that you would think truck stop related. Nothing's being added to the store. It's only, and we actually will sometimes, they'll have interior signs and stuff they're not allowed to overnight park. It's not, Casey's is very strict with, they're only allowed to come through and, yeah, there's no extra.
it's essentially access to diesel pumps.
Yeah.
For big trucks.
Right. Also with this, I want to point out, we will be increasing the impervious. So when I submit to NDOT, we've done preliminary design to make sure we're going to make sure that the detention pond that's there, I think in my opinion, probably works a little bit better, because we're gonna restrict it a little bit more than it's currently doing for the outlet. I know it goes to the NDOT ditch, but that is something that will be included.
Okay. I don't have any questions.
And we talked about what would the fence look like to the north right now? The current fence doesn't extend completely across the north end of the property.
I was just kind of leaving that open for discussion. I know some of the fence I think out there is on the other property. So we would, I mean, we're.
I think it's kind of open to that lot 48 and 49 maybe. And the homeowner that owns those two properties is actually the one on the corner there.
Okay.
So they're concerned.
Something else I noticed was, and I changed this a little bit in one of our site plans. I think the one that you have, you'll notice that I moved the fence down a little bit. I noticed that some of the properties being utilized within the property, but again, Casey's isn't using it. We can pull that fence in if we need to.
Okay.
They're pretty easy to work with in that regard.
Understand.
Unless there's.
We deal with that all the time.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very common, but something to look for. And there is a bit of a natural drainage back there. All of that would be coming to the detention.
Okay.
So. Again, it's not very detailed, it's just kind of the
All right.
overall.
I don't have anything else.
What's the target completion date for the project?
Great question. So I would say that after this, depending on, your guys' feedback and everything, I would go back. It'd probably take me about, I'm not giving you a very good date, sorry, I'm talking through it. I think it'd take me probably at least 2 weeks to get submitted preliminarily to NDOT. Their process right now with traffic study has been about 4 to 6 months. And I don't want you to quote me on that. That's just been like the back and forth. And that's not on them. That's us getting a preliminary and then doing traffic and then us analyzing it and coming up with a plan, potentially maybe even talking to you guys again or, resubmitting everything for approval and then getting a final from them. So as soon as 4 months, if we got an NDOT approval, but then they would still be looking another 2 to 3 months out. So the earliest, I would say, is 6 months.
To start construction.
Yeah, but please don't quote me because I don't have a.
How long would you anticipate the construction itself would take?
A month or two? They're pretty quick on
Okay.
it. It's
It's
relatively.
not a lot really. It's
No.
mostly concrete work.
No, I think the last store we did in New Salisbury, that was like a full store. And they were done in 4 months. About.
Okay. All right. Is that all? You got anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Do you want me to leave this up here in case people have questions to see?
Yes,
Just the
you
same.
can leave a copy up there if you like.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, is there anybody here to talk about the playground at the park?
My name is Haley Ziliak, and I'm a longtime Gibson County resident and Fort Range resident of 5 years now. I'm here tonight as a parent, but also as an advocate for accessibility and childhood development in our community. I believe that improving community spaces that benefit our children, which are our future, is invaluable. So it's been a little over a year ago now that I came to a town board meeting, and Lisa from Community Pride presented accessible surfacing for the playground here in Fort Range. However, after various discussions with many individuals, we went back to the drawing board and I took a different proposal to Fort Range Community Pride. The individuals on that committee have been a constant sounding board as we kind of bounce around ideas for a potential project. What I would now like to propose is a fully accessible playground space for one of our 2 community parks. As you may all remember, this project is personal to me, but even before it became a personal subject, it's something that I recognize as a need for all communities. Creating an accessible space for our community playground is essential for ensuring that all individuals can safely enjoy the space and have equal opportunities to play and learn. Traditional playgrounds do serve many children well, but often children with mobility, sensory, or developmental challenges are excluded. An inclusive playground fosters equal participation in recreational activities, social integration and empathy, physical and mental health benefits, and it's a welcoming space for all families. Up until this point, I've spoken with 4 reps from separate companies. 2 of the reps did come to Fort Branch to see the spaces. At this point, I do have quotes and rendered drawings from 2 of the companies, Snyder Recreation and Pro Playgrounds. By next month's meeting, I hope to have quotes and rendered drawings from Little Tykes Commercial and Play Pros. Additionally, Lisa Dunkel with Community Pride has made contact with the county commissioner, who has shown great interest in a project of this caliber for Fort Branch. He also put us into contact with Christy Powell from Evansville Regional Economic Partnership. I plan to meet with her to discuss funding, grants, and overall development if this project would be approved moving forward. If approved by the town council, I intend to form a committee and work toward a finalized plan for the design, funding, and overall development of this project. That's all. So at this time, I'm open to any questions. If I don't have a definitive answer now, I'd love the opportunity to come back with more information.
So my thought is, first we need to understand like what the insurance will be
Yes.
for this type of playground, because it's a little bit different.
Yes.
So that'll be on our side. We need to investigate that and
Okay.
understand it. You say you're gonna have 2 more quotes, so
Yes.
would you be willing to come back next month? Let us,
Yes.
give us a chance to try
With
to
all the
investigate.
quotes, all the rendered drawings.
Right, and for us to investigate, just start finding out what the insurance would be and what our costs would be.
Yes.
And then we can discuss it further next month.
Yeah.
Is that okay? You guys agree?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Is there anything further you need from me outside of the other quotes and drawings?
If you wanted to, email them to us before the meeting, so we had a chance to look over them.
Yeah.
Before the meeting next month, that would probably help us. a
Okay.
lot.
Sounds
And then
good.
we can at least look at them, and then we could have questions for you then.
Okay. What is the email like?
Email them to me
Okay.
at stacy.elpers@fortbranch.org.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Haley. Okay, Lisa.
Okay, so Community Pride is willing to help with this, but I've done some other research and I've shared my concern with Haley. If you remember down by the 4-H Center, the playground they have, that is no longer there because of lawsuits and upkeep. Upkeep for a park like this, and we need to know this, is over $25,000 a year. So that is a concern. And I felt like I need to let that be known. And the lady that I talked to at the 4-H Center, she's more than willing to talk to any of you, but she had a lot of concerns about doing this as far as the community. What I would like to start smaller, because we've talked about the pads for the kids so they could walk on it. Start there and maybe add one more thing. I'll be honest, some of the other Community Pride members are really worried because this is going to be a cost to you guys. And the playground out there now, all the black stuff is already kind of wearing down. And I've got to call out to someone to see if we can get some of that replaced.
Black stuff, what do you mean?
On the big playground, the perimeter,
Like the rubber under the swing.
the black rubber,
Oh, I
it's,
got
and it's slick, like you can see kids. So I've got to call in. As Community Pride, I mean, we are more than willing to help with anything, and I'm more than willing to help with anything. But I do think there's a lot of concerns that we need questions answered. I really do.
Absolutely. I think before we make any decisions, we have to understand insurance, liability, maintenance costs.
Because the 4-H park has been involved in 3 lawsuits. And it was trivia, I mean, stupid stuff, I'll be honest to tell you. But I think that's something we need to think about. And I know that playground equipment already needs a lot of attention. And I'm gonna get prices for that. Community Pride may help with that too. I just feel like there's a lot of questions we need answered. And the lady down at work said any one of you guys can call and talk to her. But she was very open and concerned. And I feel like we gotta play both sides here.
Can you send us her information?
Yeah, I
So
will.
it needs her name and phone number.
I will. I'll get it. I'll call back down there and get it. And I'm more than willing to help and do what I can, but I do have concerns.
Okay.
And all of our names will be listed with this part. If you're, if, this is what she told me. If any of us is on this committee, if they really wanted to, they could come back and sue us as individuals. So I think, I just feel like that's something we all need to think about, because that really opened my ears. Mo was with me, she was.
Totally understood. And everybody up here at this table has been sued individually as a result of operating this position already. So.
So I just feel like that stuff we need to know and be aware of, and I will get that information to you.
You can send it to me and then I'll send it to.
It may take me a day or two, but I'll get it to you. It may take me a day or two.
Oh, it's-
So,
I
okay.
have a
Thank
question.
you.
Where are they planning on putting that?
Are you talking about where we would plan on
Well,
putting it?
Yeah,
We kind of thought Marlette would be the best because of water.
your existing quotes are for which areas?
The quotes that I have, would fit at Marlette.
Look at Marlon.
Yeah. I am happy to get into more details about what that would look like. The reps did go, or one of the reps did go to Fort Branch Community Park, and obviously that is more up-to-date equipment. As it stands, to stay within code, like, there's really not a spot to put anything. And the idea of inclusive space is that it's by existing equipment. So there's not really a good spot there. Also, if you put something there, there would be a larger drainage project to tackle prior to putting new equipment there. That playground is in an L shape, and so if you even if you remove some of the older equipment, like the little rocky horses, swings, the merry-go-round, I think, and then there's like a tree there that's relatively new, so I think there's just no way to work
Understand.
around that space.
Marlette's wider open and has open spaces.
Yeah,
It's
and
flat.
Marlette does have new trees planted around, so you can't really go around the perimeter as much, but something that both reps noted was the multitude of swings there and the ability to potentially, with approval, shift things around.
Okay.
A lot of existing.
So Marlette's the answer. long story
Marlette's the
short.
answer, I
Okay.
think. I think it needs updating and,
All right then, thank you.
Anybody else? Citizens concerns?
I'm Whitney Hunt. I am the HOA president of the McQuarrie Manor. We just recently took over this from Pete Lewis, was it April 2nd?
Yeah.
But our concern, some of us live on the alley, it's called a lane now.
Franklin Lane.
Yeah, Franklin Lane. So I know you kind of said they're, in the works of pavement and stuff. But until we get to that point, my concern is having some more maintenance on that, because it's like mud. It's not just potholes. It's mud, it needs some more gravel. Rain is, when we get these big rains, it's sitting at the end of our driveways, the ones that are on the alley side. And then once, it gets paved and things like that, there are a lot of people who speed down there. It is some residents, but we have people cut through there going pretty fast. I have a 4-year-old son. And
Through
I
the
know-
gravel alley, to be clear?
Yes, through the gravel alley, which I have called at the town maybe last year, because there was an individual doing it constantly, and they finally stopped. Driving fast. And it wasn't somebody who lived there, somebody who cut through. They were working at gymnastics over there. But considering I have a 4-year-old son, Lisa has grandkids, we also need like speed bumps, speed signs, something, but that is an issue there. For speed as well, and the lighting up there, but.
Okay, first things first, Brandy, is there anything you do for gravel? Okay.
So we'll do that first, okay? And then, anything else would need to wait until the paving was done.
Okay.
Okay, so that's gonna be some time, won't be this year. All right, but we can get some gravel on that. Okay, did you guys have anything else
No,
to add?
unfortunately, until it becomes a street, they can't get on the paving list. Is that right, Stacey?
Correct. So, what do you, I'm new to this.
What agency are we waiting on? I forget the name of it.
Evansville MPO.
MPO.
If you guys push them along a little bit.
I mean, I don't know if that does any good or not. If Stacy can say, hey, guys.
We
I
just
think
talked
he-
to him not too long ago.
For
Was that about a month ago?
It is probably.
And what about like the speeding down that way and so, I mean, you're here, but can we watch kind of, it's in the evenings, it's during work time, it's when the gymnastics is up there too,
So,
you know, but.
is there a speed limit on the alley, Daryl?
But I'm not sure.
There isn't,
I
it just says one way.
know, even if it's not posted, there's still a
There
maximum
is.
speed limit on it. I just don't know what it is for now. It's different for now than it is for sure. It's a street, it's 30.
Sure.
I'm not sure what it is for now.
Randy, do we have any signs that say slow or anything like that? Can we have,
what we had in the rack.
can we look and see if we have anything that, you know, caution children around or something like that? Maybe that would help.
I guess even if it's an hour, we can still make it work. Speed we want to.
I mean, I don't see what would be stopping us. I mean, it's,
There's a minimum speed, but there's also a maximum speed for an hour. It's the same as the street. It's not open the street, it's first. And that would be good fast.
Yeah, it's not very long.
Yeah.
It's a very short.
it's very short. It's not that they're speeding on those, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you'd be, I mean, I've seen one of the neighbors at the end that lives in the house, she almost got ran over. I mean, that's how bad it is, okay? And and you know, a lot of there's elderly people, I mean, there's some young people that live in the condos, but we, you know.
Okay, so Randy's gonna look at the first slow down sign and we'll see about, what Daryl check into the speed limit, okay? And then we can discuss putting signs up for that as well.
If we need to draft the ordinance, that wouldn't take long to draft.
It might take us a minute, might take us a couple minutes to get a speed limit up there.
Sure.
But Randy can look at the gravel lane sign to slow down, okay?
How long for to be paid?
Realistically, it's, if you're lucky, sometime at the end of next year. But, I mean, that's if we're lucky. It's gonna be a long.
We're doing a community crossings grant and it won't even be done until 2026.
2026?
So that's how we get our money for paving.
You promise to do the paving then?
Do we promise?
2026?
It has to be on our street inventory first. It has to be on the list first. So we have multiple things that have to happen before we can pave it. Okay? It's on our list of things to do. Don't think that we don't care, because we do. It's on our list. We've discussed it many times. But we just have to wait. It has to get on that street inventory first, and then we have to get our grant for our paving, and then we have to prioritize based off the amount of money that we have, what needs to get paid.
If we could just start where we've just discussed, that would be great. Appreciative. Very great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Oh, like we weren't on the list.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We have to go up here.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
She doesn't want to, so I have people.
Okay.
We have to get you on camera up there.
Yeah, so tell us your name and your,
LaDonna Hoster, I've lived here all my life.
yeah.
First thing I want to mention is flags. I would like to have flags in our town for Memorial Day all the way through Veterans Day. I think that's important to me and other people.
Mhm. So where do you want them?
Well, where you put other things like snowflakes at Christmas and
So we didn't do snowflakes this year, I don't know if you noticed. There's
did
an
notice.
issue with the electric on those poles. So that's something we discussed at previous meetings.
I don't think flag would take electric though.
Yeah, that's true, but that's why they didn't get hung up. But there's a safety concern on those poles, at the location where those flags would be. So that's one of the reasons. Do we even have flags to put on them?
No, they used to come,
Well,
Wilbur, yeah.
They put the flags up.
They'll censor.
Mhm. So they're saying it was never something the town did before. Doesn't mean it's not something we can look at, but we don't have them. We'd have to purchase them. We need a budget for that. Okay, so that kind of thing, we definitely take it into consideration. We did get this flagpole out here, fix some flags on it. We had that for a while, it was not fixed, so. We hear about flags too, we just haven't ever had something we do in the town, or as far as the town doing it.
Maybe even somewhere around town hall, maybe.
Yeah, there's a flagpole there. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the little ones in the landscape.
Right, yeah, that's true. Okay.
My next concern is, on Park Street and Main Street. You have to almost get all the way out in the street because of the shrubbery on the left, and it's dangerous, and those shrubs need to be something done, trimmed or taken out, or.
So those are gonna be on private property, correct?
And I
Yes,
think
it is
the
private
people that
property.
live there have just moved out because I'm wondering if someone didn't buy it to flip it or something, because they're putting new windows in it.
Mm.
So I almost stopped when they was putting in the windows and asked if they could put the stripes down, because they're off anyway.
So is it on the west side?
Yes.
Okay. Carol, have you noticed it's a safety concern?
Every year.
Okay,
Every year.
what can we do? Can we ask
I
them?
don't know what we do.
Can we?
Does it violate an ordinance? Is it, we can't go in on personal property and do that.
I know,
Receive a
but
letter.
can we ask them to
Send them a letter. We've done that to another person.
tell them it's a
I
safety
don't know if
concern?
anybody lives there.
Somebody else own it.
Someone has-
Can we do that, Stacy? Ask them, tell them we have a safety concern with suspicious and ask them to turn them back. Okay. Do you have anything else going on?
We lived on Kennedy Drive, Caroline Village, and there's riding lawnmowers, golf carts, you name it, going down 168 and down on our street all the time.
But we're not allowed to go out.
I didn't know if anyone was
168
aware of
down
it.
another street.
No, they're not.
But they get on that. But today, the lawnmower came, had a wagon behind it, a riding lawnmower wagon coming down 168 and turned on our street.
So that's gonna be a law enforcement concern really, for Daryl to see them doing that.
The only thing I could do is if there's a golf cart in town, you do that alone.
And a lawnmower go on the
A
street.
lawnmower can go on the highway and a golf cart can't.
That's the difference.
That's the way it works.
You may have babies
Smart
strapped
people
on
to do it.
about 6 months old, baby.
So there's a golf cart ordinance, so if they're in violation of that, then our police can address it, but he's gotta see him.
Honestly, I've never seen
Okay, anything else about it?
That's all.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anybody? Okay, come on up.
I'd like to ask something about the flags.
Okay.
I talked to Bill Sisk, his dad, Dale, and Dave Isaac, they were the two that put them up all the time. There's a fund started by people, they donated, they even had plaques on the poles and everything else, I don't know how many are left. But Dale isn't in very good shape, and Dave died. So I talked to Bill, he said there is a fund for the flags. He's got to talk to some lady and find out what's left. But I think he said they would be willing to donate it to the town, if the town put the flags up.
Okay.
And so he's going to check into that, and maybe that'd help out with the cost and everything else.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does it have to be for next year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to-
Is it- yeah, don't have it.
Under the assumption I was on the agenda.
You are on the agenda.
So I need to wait.
You're next after citizens.
We'll actually have a library. Do we have any, it's okay.
Just go ahead and have him.
My name's Chuck Lewis. I'm a Gibson County Commissioner, and I'm here representing the Gibson County Drainage Board. Here to discuss an upcoming project that we want to do this fall on Pigeon Creek, from 800 south of Coal Mine Road all the way to the railroad bridge. We're wanting to do some maintenance on that ditch. In order to do everything we need to do, we need to be able to access both sides of the ditch. However, at the sewage treatment plant, there is a fence within the 75-foot right-of-way access that we have to do maintenance. There is a statute about that, and the statute pretty clearly states that it would be the town's responsibility to move that fence unless there is an agreement somewhere between the ditch board and the town of Fort Branch way back when the sewer plant was built that allows it to be there. We are willing, I'm one voice of the ditch board, but I believe the ditch board and the county commissioners would be more than willing to work with the town, whether we share expense, provide some labor, or whatever, to get this taken care of. What we're wanting to do is clean the ditch out to try and alleviate some of the flooding on Coal Mine Road because of the school traffic, obviously.
Doesn't the statute actually say it's a 75-foot right of access easement, essentially? That's what the statute actually says?
From each side.
Right, from the center out, 75 foot each way.
Yeah. I don't know if it's from the center of the flow or
It's the center.
but yeah.
But that, I think that fence is there pre-1995 when this ordinance came out, or this statute. It's just hard for us to swallow that we've gotta pay to replace that fence, to do this work to clean out the ditch. So is the purpose of this particular clean out to solve the problem on Coal Mine Road? Because like,
I won't say solve.
I feel like most of the problems on Coal Mine Road are about a mile west of there on the south side.
There are problems there also.
Near
It's a floodplain and
GT.
it's gonna, and that has been discussed also. There's a driveway culvert restriction there that causes problems that we're looking at. Once again, that gets into private property, so we're gonna have to see what we can do about that. But the ditch needs cleaned out. There's trees in it, there's obstructions in it. It's a regulator drain, so the county has a right to do maintenance on it.
Right.
Like I said, I think we would be more than willing to, discuss and work with you folks. I don't know if that, like I said, I'm one voice. I don't know if that would mean the county would put the whole bill to move the fence or.
Here's the problem
Split.
though, here's the main rub. So with the sewer treatment plant, in the event that we have to expand, and we're going to have to, it's an inevitability. We're going to have to expand in the southwest corner of that, which is basically where the fence is, back in that corner.
I think since that statute said you would have to have an agreement with the ditch board before you could do any improvements on that property, any kind of permanent construction.
I mean, within the fence, I'm talking about inside our current fence. If we expand our treatment plant, we're going to need to expand it in that corner of the property. So all I'm getting at is that we're just not super excited about giving up any real estate in the event that we have to expand our sewer treatment plant.
You wouldn't have to. That's a lawyer question, and I can't answer that.
You can take the fence down,
Yeah,
put it back up after you do the work.
You're saying the fence is going to go up exactly where it is today? It just has to come down so equipment has room to get in there?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, we would have to go down and really look at it, but yes, we just need access to get in there and do the work. And then if the fence would go back up, then an agreement could be reached that in the future, if more work needed done, there would be the ditch board's expense, whatever, I don't know,
Right.
to remove it, to do the work and replace it.
I'd say we need to work together.
Yeah, it'll have to go back up and it'll have to be, I mean, I'm only one voice, but I don't want to pay a penny to move the fence, honestly. But not to change the subject while we got you here, since you are a drainage board guy and you've been a Fort Branch resident for a large portion of your life. The ditch that goes from Church in Uland, north, goes north toward the water tower from there, kind of behind the old Vindall, behind Ray Drewley's
I
property.
believe it's a county regulated
It's a county regulated ditch.
ditch through
We've
the
been
park.
unable to get any support to clean that thing out for 20 years. What we're always told is that we've got enough funds to spray that ditch once a year. It has trees this big around growing out of it, and because
Years ago, they used to,
years ago, they used to take care of it.
Yeah.
I happen to own a property adjacent to that ditch. I've lived within a block of that ditch for 50 years. Very familiar with what used to be done and what's currently done. And it's a travesty. The people who, it happens to be my district, and the complaints we get them all the time because people don't understand the difference between, they don't understand that that's not a town problem. They expect us to be able to fix it. And we field all these complaints, and it's always, well, we can only afford to spray that ditch once a year.
all I can tell you is I can bring it up and discuss it at the next ditch board meeting, which will be the 17th of June, immediately following the 8 a.m. county commissioners meeting.
Okay. Again, we had you here, so
No, that's fine.
I thought
And I agree, it needs attention.
I thought I'd bring it up.
I'm
Can
sorry.
you repeat when that meeting is again?
The 17th, 8 a.m., that is the commissioners meeting, the ditch board meeting immediately follows. So,
What month? June?
June. sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
So going back to the sewer, the ditch by sewer plant, what's the extent of the fence? The fence has to come down, can it just go back all the parts that we have now? I mean, what kind of cost would that be? Is it something that
I
the
don't think we
county
can
has
super-
people, manpower that could do it? I just want to understand the scope of it before we even have any further discussion.
The county does not have manpower. The ditch board hires private contractors to do the work. They have no workforce. It's not a county road, so I can't send county highway employees out there. So it would have to be done by private contractor. I do not, to the best of my knowledge, I think it just needs taken down for the work and then put back up. But I need to get down there with the surveyor and walk it and figure out what the scope of the project's going to be before I can give you an exact answer on
Well, you
that.
should have
Right
said
now, I'm
you-
just,
You should have sent him up here. What's Scott
no
doing?
comment.
What's Scott doing today? Anyway,
I have a question. Can you access it from the other side?
I'm sorry.
Can you access it from the other side? Because that ditch is so long that you're
To
only
do
gonna
the
get a
work we wanna
small
do,
portion.
We feel we need to
That's
get to
ours.
both sides to do what needs done.
Jeff, I got kind of a question for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in this evening. So if you go on the, we call it our side of the ditch to clean it out, we have an F-foot structure.
Right.
We discharge, that sticks out into the bank a good little bit. How is that going to affect, cleaning that ditch out and scraping them walls back?
We're gonna have to look at that because I believe that structure is in the flow channel. And the county engineer has looked at it, thinks it may be a problem. So that may be something that this project entails, is revamping, moving, whatever. So I guess yes, to answer your question. Yeah. Like I said, we're in the preliminary stages. This will be a project in the fall. We obviously wait till the farmers get their crops out. Plus, there's actually a law. You can't start anything, I don't remember if it's September 30 or October 1st because of roosting bats.
I didn't know that.
So for me, what I need to understand is what your actual request is right now. So are you just?
Right
letting
now,
us
I'm
know-
just throwing this out that we want to do this project. We'll move forward, get bids, look at it, everything, and then have more discussions about what can and cannot be done with the fence, whether we can come to some type of cooperative agreement, you know, to split costs or provide manpower or something. So that's basically what I'm here for today.
Okay.
Just,
The other question, Chuck, don't forget, is we'd like to know if it's, the end goal is to consume more real estate to where the fence would actually have to be moved back from where it is today.
that's when we'll have to look at the project and see.
Because that's a huge concern for us.
Right now, I do not think so. I think it's just cleaning the banks and removing the trees and things like that. I don't think we're looking at, you know, making a big slope out of it.
Okay.
Like I said, this is in the beginning stages. Project was discussed a couple of years ago, I guess, and dropped. It's still a problem that needs to be addressed. Will it solve all the problems on Coal Mine Road? No, it won't. Coal Mine Road's in a floodplain. There are going to be situations where it floods until we come up with billions of dollars to raise it 4 feet.
Right.
And just like you know, funds are limited.
Right.
Community crossings is going from 400 billion to 100 billion statewide.
So, and just try to remember this on your meeting the 17th of June, there's 7 residents that you'll be their biggest hero if you can get that ditch cleaned up.
We'll discuss it.
All right.
Okay, one other thing while you're here, not related
You
to,
want it to be on the agenda?
maybe. So, Bill Knapp reached out
Yes,
to
I'm
us.
on that board also.
Okay, so you understand they're wanting that alley paved, and you also know we don't have any funding for that, right?
Neither do
We
they.
didn't budget. Okay, so, what Bill was saying was that because it's our property, that we would need to request money from the redevelopment commission in order to get funding.
Correct.
However, then Bill called me back and said that, the redevelopment commission was actually not in favor of that because, or maybe the commissioners, the county commissioners
No,
weren't in favor.
commissioners don't make any decisions on that.
So-
That's all redevelopment.
Yeah, so what they said was that we would need to prove it was infrastructure to support Toyota in order to get the funding.
Can I stop you real quick right there? I would make the argument that it's part of the gym project. So if.
And library.
And the library. So if both of those projects met the requirement for the TIF district regarding, you know, Toyota and everything else, that this would be as well. It's part of the same project in my view.
I don't want to do that. But the decision is not up to the commissioners.
Right.
All the commissioners do is give people permission to go before the redevelopment commission. They are the ones that handle the TIF money, which is supposed to be used for infrastructure for Toyota and quality of life for employees, things like that, which that's what the library and the gym falls under, quality of life, recreation. We as the South Gibson Community and Teen Center asked for additional monies to pay it. And the redevelopment commission denied us and said that since it is town property, the town would need to ask.
Okay, so, we need to agree that we actually want to be on that agenda, which is why I didn't call you back, because we needed to discuss it in the meeting for them to understand as well. But also, Bill has asked about the sidewalk on the south side of the building, which we don't have funding for that either. So in my opinion, if we were to go to request money for the paving, we should include the sidewalk in that.
We got a drainage problem too with the library, and we're gonna have a drainage problem
That's true.
with the gym. If we're gonna ask for more money, we need to do something about that storm drainage problem we have.
Is there a storm drain that runs up the alley?
Utilities in
No.
You can't, if you cut it up.
So where's the closest one, Church Street?
Over by the church. So you'd have to take a line over
2
there.
blocks.
Don't have to start.
You gotta take it 2 blocks,
About a
a
block and a half.
block and a half.
But that needs, if we're gonna have to get more monies, they need to get that in in that part of it.
I think we're not taking Church Street.
You don't want to put a street in and have to dig that through the line. You understand what I'm saying, Sandra?
Yeah.
I do,
There's
but
not a storm sewer down Locust either. The grates are just at the corner of Locust and Church,
Right,
correct?
that's right.
Fred, and there's no storm sewer down Locust Street. It just runs north-south on Church, and there's grates at Locust Street.
They found an old tile on the, more on the outer right of way, and they dug the basement of the library. Who knows where it came from into, so.
Probably the
So when they dug the,
sewer company went that way.
when they dug the basement for the new library, when they dug the basement for the new library, it's like they hit a well. That thing runs nonstop and they're dumping it on the street and it's
I've
freezing
seen
in the winter.
I just can't believe they didn't have the money to do that when they done that $11 million on that one block. I can't believe there's not enough money to do the sidewalk in that street. I don't know.
It wasn't anticipated.
There were things
The library.
that were cut out and things that probably should have been.
Well,
in
you
there.
spend $5 million here and $7 million there, and you got a rock road one in between them in the middle of the town? That don't make sense. I don't know who the engineers were, but they need to start wearing
You
ties.
can't pave an alley.
He doesn't wear
It
a
has to
tie,
be a
it's a
road
ponytail.
before you can pave it.
Well,
It's on
he should pull his head out of his ass, what he
Just like
needs.
Franklin Lane. It's the same thing as Franklin Lane.
Yeah.
It's not on our road inventory, so there's no,
Probably can't pay it in.
Yeah.
Then that answers your question, am I going to read about it? And the gym can't pave it because it's not their problem. Even if the redevelopment would give us some money, correct?
That's what it sounds like.
but what a shame it is that we'll have two brand new buildings in a gravel lane in the middle of it.
Yeah, $11 million worth.
I'm in favor of doing whatever it takes to make it a street get paved. I just think it's a shame to have a gravel roadway.
I guess we can deed the alley to the library or the gym and then say it's private property and then like if you take care of that one.
If there's utilities, just make an easement.
Put an easement on it. Not a bad idea.
What's that? Make it an easement.
Yeah.
Deed it to the gym
Yeah.
and make it an easement. I mean, what are our options? That's what we have to think through, because I don't want it to stay gravel. I don't want it to stay gravel.
Yeah, it's gonna be such a nice place.
Yeah, I think we need to add a pavement. What's it gonna take to make that happen?
See, originally on the gym project, we were wanting to pave not necessarily the alley, but the north side of the gym hall. We didn't have the funding to do that either. So you kind of pick and choose what you get, you know?
Yeah, well,
At least there's a good floor in there.
Yeah.
Floor, goals, heating, air, sprinkler system, meeting room.
I think that before we request to go to the redevelopment commission, I think we need to understand what we want to do.
Yep.
I think we need to.
yeah, because if we gotta do something like that.
Whenever you need on the commissioner's agenda to get permission, just give me a shout.
Okay. So guys, I would like for us to think about it and then discuss it again next month.
Okay.
Fair?
Yeah, we need to talk about it, that's for sure.
All right.
And I'll get with Randy some afternoon or something in the surveyor. We'll go down there and chomp around and look,
Okay.
get some bids. And go from there.
All right.
That'd be good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Do we have any other citizens concerns? No, we're good. Okay. The library, has anybody talked to the library yet about this pump issue? No, haven't. So what can we do, Sandra?
I mean, you were told to put it back on the road for now.
You can send them another letter and demand they come back here and try to weigh our options on
What's the plan?
what's the plan. We need to know their plan.
Right.
What about the people on Main Street down there, South Main? They're still pumping water in the street.
Their, last update on theirs was they were working on it.
They were trying to.
They're putting in a French drain along the
I
house.
thought you said that you were gonna have to give them a deadline.
Well, I don't know if we said that, but it's starting to look like that.
The last I remember is they were trying, it was going to be expensive, and they were trying to save up money
They
to
did.
pay for it.
And then they came back and said, we're gonna do it this spring. We're gonna do a French drain along the house. And, it would get completed this summer, so.
You probably will have to give them a deadline then.
What do you think? Give them a time, what you think is fair? We send them a letter and tell them we want taken care of by a certain amount of time. What do you think is fair?
I think by the end of the summer, September. Because we need time, if they don't get it done, to start talking about things before it gets cold out again.
All right, so our August meeting, the 27th, if it's not finished by then? I think probably we can do the library and the house administration, same thing. We want it resolved by August 27th. Which is when our meeting is. Does that sound fair to you guys?
Sure.
For both of them?
I mean, if they had to cut the pipe off and run it straight up in the middle of the yard, it'd be better than what they're doing.
It gives them 3 months to
I
get
mean, they
it
have well
resolved.
over a year.
Right. I don't really feel like it's our responsibility to give them some kind of resolution, which is what the library was asking.
That's what they want.
Yeah, they need, it's their property, they need to make it stop putting water on the road. Okay. Thank you. All right, so then moving on, CF1 forms for train station apartments.
I have the forms here from Mary Jo. She's so sweet in the auditor's office. She gave me the one for 24, page 25, and then also 25, page 26. And then she gave me a copy of the one that's already completed for 23, page 24. It looks like you need to sign this one on the 24, page 25. They have it dated February 14th, 2025. And they sent this one in for the 2026 tax year on May 5th, 2025. So
We have to receive them by a certain date.
yeah, and they were received by those days. And so there's a spot for someone to sign, the authorized member to sign on this page, and for Stacy to attest to it. Stacy needs to be, and then they need a copy of the minutes of this meeting to send along with it.
Okay, I make a motion that we sign these.
So does one covers the previous year that never got filed? So they will accept that late?
Well, that's not late.
Oh, that's
not late. The other one is early.
Okay,
So-
gotcha.
The one they didn't get from last year.
They just
She's
didn't.
the one that called me and said we never
No, that one's
received it.
dated February 14th, so.
They were within their time.
They were within their
I'm
time.
just saying they called me and said they didn't have it, asked me for it, and I didn't have it.
Okay.
So I don't know where it goes to, but it doesn't come to town hall.
So they're gonna end up not missing one?
They're not gonna miss one, though. And then she gave me a copy of this. I don't know if you want the 2023, page 2024 copy.
I have it. Okay. It's the last one I have.
But all she needs is minutes, and that can be submitted with the minutes, so.
So I have a motion, I made a motion to sign these. I need a second.
I'll take it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Where do they go, Sandy?
If you give me a copy of it, I'll just take it to Mary Jo at the courthouse.
No. I mean, where do they go whenever, who do these get sent to?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she called me for them.
I don't know. She said that somebody had a pile of stuff on their desk.
I think it goes up here, because this is for the hearing. We didn't have a hearing.
Great.
So they send them to the auditor.
Mm-hmm.
The train station, the TSA sends them to the
Yes,
auditor.
yes.
And And then the auditor gives them to us
Yes.
for signature. Just wanna make sure I understand.
No, you can just, if you want to just line through it and initial it, I don't think it matters.
Okay, the next thing is the municipal center has hail damage.
Yeah, we did not realize that we had hail damage, and one day Robert Norris was in his office and he said that he was getting wet, so we called and an adjuster came in and we have hail damage on the roof as well as the gutters that we didn't realize. So
Makes sense, because I had it on my house.
that's, it's only on the south side, so, but they'll have to replace it off, so just an FYI that they're looking at
Okay,
that in the future.
all right, and then, we have a Gerald and ELPERS need HSA money before the July 1st distribution.
So I just need a motion and
I
second.
make a motion that we approve that. To give them their HSA money, access to it.
Oh, okay, got it, I got it.
So I made a motion that we
I'll
approve
second.
it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Um, Next thing we have is, department head reports. Oh, that was
Those are those, I don't know if you want them or not,
I'll take them. This is for the
that shows
drainage board question.
so they're all different, so. I just-
Yeah,
Oh, they're all different.
oh, okay.
But it shows you,
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, I got you.
It's really excellent. It's all
Mhm.
good.
Okay. All right, so Randy, did you have anything that says, 2026
There you go.
CCMG?
it's a community crossing. There you go.
2025. PA and POT.
So basically what that letter is saying is that HWC will assist in doing the CCM project development and help with the application of paving for 2026. And they'll do the 2025, help with the 2025 PAMP update. And it will not exceed a fee of $15,000.
This is a request to pay them for them to do that.
It's just them saying this is what they'll do. Do you want them to move forward? Because then they'll do a contract. So.
Okay. Are you guys in support of paying HWC to do the research for the community crossings grant?
Yes.
All right, I make a motion that we go forward with having HWC work on the community crossings grant for us.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Randy, did you have anything?
No.
Daryl? Okay. Fred? Everything's going okay out there? How about sewer department?
Project's on its last step, other than the asphalt restoration. They're hoping to get done in that by the end of the week.
Okay,
It's one fairly soon with the roads and parks.
good news.
Not smooth all the way.
What did you just say?
Not smooth all the way.
Yeah, we're always gonna have hiccups, right?
So, yeah, that's the situation.
All right, Stacy, you have a bad debt on here you need to write off? Yep.
That's the.
Actually,
Put it down.
Yeah. That's that.
Everybody's getting one of these?
Yeah.
Here's our summary of bad debt we need to
So
write
there's
off.
$341.85 of bad debt of that In water, it's $100.55, in sewer, it's $211.20, in stormwater, it's $30.10. And two of these are due to a person passing away. One of them is due to a bankruptcy, and the other one was, we had liens on them, but in between the lien and they sold the property, there was $81 that we're not gonna collect on, so I just need a motion and second in order to write off the
I'll
debt
make
that
the
you have.
motion to write off the bad debt.
That's second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
And the other thing, just an FYI, I don't know if you've heard of Senate Bill 1, but budget's gonna be very scary this time, or this year. Revenues are getting cut with no replacement and revenue taking its place. So, I've never been worried about a budget in the 19 years I've been here. And now it's gonna be an unknown, so they're cutting a lot of revenue. And I don't know how cities and towns are gonna be able to make it, but property taxes are gonna start, dropping. And that's how the
did
town
they
is
adopt that
run.
bill already? Did they adopt the bill already?
Yes, yes, and so, it's gonna start for 2026, and then by 2031, property taxes are only gonna be a fourth of the assessed values. So, there's gonna be a lot of cutting, so. And I'm also wanted to say that we're going to, I'm gonna move the budget process, that usually we do it in September for the hearing, and October is the adoption. This year it's gonna be August and September because my daughter's getting married and I'm not gonna be around in October, so. So I'm gonna be starting that here next week, so, I didn't know what you were thinking as far as salaries, insurance, what you want me to try to work in there. You just gotta let me know what you want me to do, and then I'll just have to start with it. And
Okay. Anything else? You have anything else? Okay, is there anything we missed? Nope. Okay, our next meeting will be Wednesday, June the 25th at 6 p.m. here. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, meeting is adjourned 7:05.
So, do you have pictures down there of the drainage question?
Oh, yeah. Did you have the drainage, the drainage board stuff that Stacy had? How do you stop this?
This here? This way?
Yes. Thank you. Here you go.
oh, right here, in stream. You gotta be smarter than the.